Now it's time for you to put what you've learned into practice. In this exercise, you will create two new entities, category and product, but this time you'll handle the full workflow. So I want you to start with creating a new flyway migration to create two new tables, categories and products. Now in the categories table, we are using tinyInt for the ID column because tinyInt takes only 1 byte, and with this we can store up to 256 values. This is more than enough because in reality, we don't have more than 40 or 50 categories. Now in the products table, for the ID column, we should use bigInt so we can store a large number of products. Name should be varchar of 255, just like before. Now price should be decimal of 10 and 2. This is a common data type for storing monetary values. 10 here represents the total number of digits we can store, and 2 represents the number of digits after the decimal point. So start with creating a new flyway migration, then apply it to your database. Once your database is updated, then create two new entities, category and product, with these fields. Now here we are using byte for the ID field because this is the equivalent of tinyInt in SQL. And for price, we are using big decimal. Again, that is the equivalent of decimal in SQL. This is a great exercise for you to practice a lot of concepts you have learned in this section. So spend about 10 to 15 minutes on this and then come back and see my solution. All right, here's what I've done. I've created a new migration script, version 6, for creating the categories and products tables. First, we create the categories table with these two columns. ID is tinyInt, auto increment, and primary key. Name is varchar of 255, and it's not null. Pretty straightforward. Then we create the products table with these columns. Again, it's very self-explanatory. In this table, we have a foreign key constraint on the category ID column that references the ID column of the categories table. Now here we're using onDelete restrict, which prevents us from deleting a category if there is a product in that category. This is to prevent data corruption. So this is our migration script. Then we have the category entity with all those standard annotations. We have the ID field, which is defined as byte. Again, there is nothing new here that needs further explanation. We have a one-to-many relationship on products. And again, we are using a set to prevent duplicate products in a category. Now let's take a look at the product entity. Again, we have all those standard annotations. Down here, we have a many-to-one relationship on category. And this is the owning side of the relationship because I told you, wherever we have a foreign key, that side is the owner. And that's where we should add the join column annotation. So this is the owner. We apply the join column annotation here. And on the other side, which is the category, we use the mapped by attribute to tell Hibernate that the category field in the product entity is the owner of the relationship.